Welcome everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to open this event. I'm really excited to be here in what's an extremely rich subject given the current climate that we're in. So the subject is the future of the bank branch. My name is Nick Pegram. I'm doing the keynote for this session. Really excited to be here. I'm a director at LogMeIn. I've spent the last decade focused on digital self-service and AI automation for customer experience. I'm responsible for the Bold360 business in EMEA. Bold360 is an engagement platform which uses conversational AI and machine learning technologies to deliver improvements to customer and employee experience. To kick things off, I've got a novelty question. I'm actually going to look back before we look forward. And as part of my research for this session, it was really interesting to see the evolution of banking and currency. So the question that I've got, and we've got a poll that's going to pop up, there are three options that you can choose. When was the first provincial bank established and where? So when was the first provincial bank established and where? Okay, so as I said, I'm going to look backwards first, but I want to start by referencing some data points which will hopefully get our experts salivating at the prospect of discussing this subject and providing their world-class insight on the future of the bank branch. So some recent reports that I want to reference. The first one is from which was actually November 2019. There were a staggering 3,303 bank branch closures in the UK between 2015 and August 2019. And this is around 34% of the overall branch network in country. Present day, there are the top four retail entities that are made up of both building societies and retail banks. And the largest is Barclays with 1,058 outlets. The second is Lloyds, 893. The third one is NatWest Group with 797. 144 of those are made up by RBS. And nationwide, the Building Society has 680. And in 2019, there were 10,405 bank or building society branches in the UK. Of these, 8,525 were bank branches and just over 1,800 were building society branches. Now, what's quite interesting is really the erosion of the retail banking environment within the UK. I am specifically talking about the UK here. And the other relevant and parallel behavior change that we've seen is this transition to being a cashless society. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to just get a bit more of an understanding as to where we've got our cash from and how that behavioral change has been reflected in technology. And if you look at ATMs, in November 2019, there were just over 60,000 cash machines in the UK. 76% or 46,400 of which were free to use. So the remaining cash machines for 14,500 were pay to use. So if you think about the logic of that, and I've never really understood it, but I have got caught at a motorway station having to pay for money. Between July 2018 and July 2019, this number fell by just over 5,000 or 8%. So we're still paying to get money out of cash machines. And as we accelerate into a cashless society, it's clear that COVID-19 has been the new catalyst for this transition of, tap, swipe, or transfer. So the obvious question is, with the erosion of the branch experience and the adoption of mobile and web-based banking, what is the future role of the branch? Before I get into this, I'm wondering if I'm the only one who's a little conflicted about this subject. Because I'd argue that actually the traditional retail banks have never been the slickest of brands, and they would always probably come best to sexy brands like Porsche or Gucci or Nike. Yet we make some of our biggest life decisions and can probably reference opening our first bank account, using a credit card, taking out a student loan for the first time, or indeed a mortgage. And those moments in time are really precious. And I think, we can all reference when those different lifetime experiences really resonate. And if it's a positive experience, then typically that enduring affinity to the brand is very long lasting, so long as it's a positive one. I'm an innovation junkie at heart, and one of the reasons I love my job is that I get to work with the latest AI technology, which delivers really significant improvements to all kinds of businesses. They might be long-standing traditional companies looking to improve contact center agent efficiencies, or fast-growth businesses struggling to cope with surging demand from customer or employee experiences at scale. So with the huge growth of mobile and digital omnichannel experiences, does this mean the end of the branch experience? If I think about the convenience and lifestyle choice that is happening at the moment, information and relevancy are really, really critical to the consumer experience. A couple of examples of recent experiences of mine. I recently changed my insurance policy on my car, and I actually received a check in the post, quite a rare thing now, which I decided to take to the bank rather than actually deposit it via the post. And I went to my local branch, and it was only open from 10 in the morning until 2 p.m. And given the current climate we're in, I'm having to queue outside, and the whole procedure took 40 minutes for me to complete. And it's just seemed light years away from the convenience of transferring cash digitally. I've also got a friend of mine, and his 16-year-old, his son recently turned 16. He needed to open an account, and he decided to apply online. And it was a traditional bank, a traditional retail bank that's been around for a long time. But the application process online required him to go into a branch in order to validate his ID. And if I think about the other challenger banks that have the ability to verify passport or iris recognition or driver's license recognition in order to approve security processes and open an account, it seems a very, very different experience. But is it all doom and gloom for the high street? Legacy applications, systems, and processes are consistent hindrances for traditional high street branches, and they really do have to consider their investments. New technologies, they are able to better help inform advisors, enhancing the in-branch experience, and we've got some evidence of that. But also consumer research data tells us that actually large ticket investments and purchases, such as mortgage applications, business loans, and advice, along with investments such as ISAs, they're still in high demand. So customers will spend more time in branch researching in depth and consider advice before they make key decisions. And I think that the people interaction, the empathy and trust still hold true for many, especially if accurate information for decision-making can be provided face-to-face. Areas of improvement, such as automating booking processes for your appointment prior to getting to the branch, or contextual product recommendations from a branch financial advisor when you're actually with them in real time, and accelerated approval processes. These can all be administered in branch. This is many different capabilities that can be delivered to the customer and really enhance that customer experience in branch. So it will be remiss of me not to highlight some of the innovation and trends that we're seeing that could have a profound impact to the in-branch experience. But before I do that, I just wanted to introduce very briefly Bold360 and our parent company, LogMeIn. COVID-19 has obviously changed our working lives forevermore. In fact, here at LogMeIn, we've made the decision to transition our global workforce now to home working contracts. And interestingly, our company was founded in Budapest in 2003 and born from our founder getting frustrated at crossing the Danube each day and being stuck in commuter traffic. So one day he built up to developing remote connectivity software that enabled him to connect to his office network from home. And there the seeds of the company were planted. So our technologies include secure access to password and application products such as LastPass, accessing your desktop applications with a really pioneering technology that was, as I say, developed some time ago called Go to My PC, remote support solutions such as Rescue Lens, which is really cool technology. And an example use case would be that if you've got a problem with your broadband at home and you were on your mobile to a support engineer, the browser-based camera on the phone allows you to troubleshoot in real time and help the engineer resolve the issue. We've also got market-leading video products such as GoToMeeting and GoToConnect, all of which enable LogMeIn to be positioned as the work from anywhere company. And I really believe that all these capabilities can enhance the in-branch experience for the employee and the customer. This adoption to technology enablement for employees and specifically support agents working from home also provides example opportunities to elevate the branch experience. NatWest Group is one of our flagship customers. Their in-branch advisors have access to a chatbot called Ella. Ella is actually the face of My Knowledge, which is an AI-driven knowledge base that enables the bank and its various different brands to provide highly relevant content to be consumed by its employees and its customer-facing employees. For example, an in-branch employee may be sat with a customer where on a tablet or at a desktop with the screen in full view of the customer. Now, the customer query can be addressed by the advisor using chatbot Ella with the comfort that confidential information will not be shown to the public. And this is based on the user profile. So Ella picks up the user profile and will adapt the knowledge dynamically. So all of the content that's surfaced in real time can be updated using real-time analytics that continues to learn from Ella's inputs. And the same principle applies across the bank's many brands, including over 30,000 contact center agents, many of which are working from home by using AI technology to surface relevant information, relevant customer information to the agent. And this has resulted in massive efficiency gains, great improvements to employee experience, and a really strong sense of fulfillment to be able to address customer needs in the branch and in real time. So in conclusion, I believe that with the acceleration of cloud-based intelligent applications and connectivity, there are hybrid options which will greatly improve the customer and the employee experience in branch. And of course, we need to consider customer segments and preferences. But one certainty is that change is inevitable and often unpredictable. And given the statistics I referenced at the start, who would have thought that there would be room for Metro Bank, who was the first new retail bank to launch in 150 years. As AI and intelligent technologies evolve and help improve customers in their pre-branch experience and employees in their employees in branch in real time, there's a really exciting opportunity to rapidly improve the overall customer and employee experience in branch. So when you balance this with the adoption of consumer services now being provided with the digital challenger banks, the one positive outlook for consumers is that the competing forces of the retail banking market means choice will not be in short supply. So I look forward to picking up some of these subjects and debating these topics with the panel. And I really appreciate you listening. Thank you for your time. So I'd like to hand over to the speed networking area to meet some of your fellow delegates before the interactive roundtable starts in the session room at 9:30.